a bunch of countries. You're not only amortizing it over one nation or one market. So it is certainly a very big opportunity. We started manufacturing handsets with industrial design, mechanical design, and we have a setup to design hardware. We have a basically license of MTK, which is MediaTek, Spectrum, and MStar, which are some of the top companies in the world making chipsets. So we are making these phones there in China, and we would certainly like to shift our manufacturing base from China to India. To do that, we already started doing a lot of work. So major hurdle is the ecosystem, the supply chain. So we need to look into the manufacturing of various components as well. For example, most of the LCDs which are being used by, let's say, Samsung or Nokia for their plants in India are coming from China or Taiwan or Korea. Those are not getting manufactured here. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel, but we can always look into the possibility of having some sort of synergy, some sort of tie-ups, some sort of collaborations with the help of which we'll be able to make all the components here in our country, and we'll be able to make those products ourselves, which will certainly contribute in a very great way for the growth of the country, to create an employment, and as the vision of Dr. Abdul Kalam said, that we should try to convert this mobile phone from a mere equipment which is used for communication to an instrument of empowerment. How we can use it as a ubiquitous computing. The question Siva asked was quite interesting. How many of you do not use mobile phone? In fact, I should ask, how many of you do not use two mobile handsets? Because there are so many operators there in a country like India having different rates for the different calls that you make. So there is a huge potential there, and we need to look into it in a holistic manner, and the government also needs to do a lot when it comes to their policies. The policies should be investor friendly so that more and more people come to India and invest money here, so that the country in totality will get benefited, not only in the form of assembling, but by getting into the real-time manufacturing.
Thank you. I actually know one uncle who doesn't have a cell phone, so I'm quite okay in asking that question. India is known for very large IT services firms, $4 billion, $5 billion, $6 billion companies. When will we have a Cisco or Juniper from India? I'll open this up to all of you.
Well, I also am a part of a startup, so maybe my company will grow to become one of that. That was more of a joke.
Well, let's define a startup to be smaller than $30 billion in revenue, okay?
Yeah, it is not, if it was $30 million, then it would have been, 30 or billion, whatever, it's very big for me. Whether it is million or billion. So, there is an insight that I want to share, and I'll answer that question with that insight. But I'll first throw up a question to audience. Normally I get questioned by audience. I've now changed the tack. I start questioning audience.
If they answer, they get a free router?
I'm sorry?
If they answer, they get a free router?
There are better things to be given. I mean, last I had lost some $5,000 in a training that I was giving. I thought that a question wouldn't be answered, but then I gave a clue. I really wanted to give it off to create some excitement. In the past, where do you think high-tech was first used? In which industry? Or which segment? Before you answer that question, let me make this audience a little bit, sort of throw some excitement here and make it a little bit political issue. Everybody likes to discuss politics and something which is absolutely a little hazy. How many of you think that manufacturing will succeed in India? Raise your hand. Yeah, it is. High-tech manufacturing can succeed in India. So I'm looking around the audience, there are probably not more than 10 hands. Actually, there are 5. So does that give an answer? I mean, a lot of people ask me that you are working in Cisco, do you feel that you will manufacture things? But if most of the people of the country themselves feel that manufacturing can't succeed, Do you think the company will think that it will succeed and invest? Controversy? Creative?
Absolutely.
Well,
Okay, now there was a reason why I created that controversy, because I firmly believe that manufacturing will succeed in India and it will happen. That is not because John Chambers, my CEO, told me that it will happen. There is an insight, and that insight will come from the answer that you give me on the question that I asked earlier. Where was high-tech first getting used? Which segment? In the past?
Defense.
Right. Defense. How much is the defense budget of US? It's as big as the 5-year plan of India.
Absolutely.
Right?
possibly more.
If that was, possibly more, yes.
Yes.
If that was the type of money that was being spent on R&D to generate technologies that were first used in defense, and then if they felt that it could be commercially viable, was passed down to the industry. Industry first sold it to the large companies like Ford Motors or GE. Then when that market matured, they